Hey guys! So, I'm sitting in the room right now with my friend Rob, and we're here to talk about a clone of a Fender 5E3 Deluxe. We decided to build this amp about 6 months or so ago ourselves. I built it because I was playing with a Vox AC30 at a lot of clubs, bars, and restaurants that I was in, and all the management, staff, and even guys in my band were saying, "You're too loud," and I needed to turn down. So, we built an amp that's about 12 to 15 watts. That way I could put a microphone on the speaker. I could get the exact sound that I'm going for right out of the house PA. I think it sounds great. So, you guys just heard me playing with the Stratocaster through the 5E3. Later on, you're going to hear it with a Gibson SG, and as a bonus, we're actually going to open up the back of the amp in our shop, and we're going to talk about the electronics, different stuff that we put in, and the decisions that we made in doing so. So, let's get started and let's have some fun. To start, I'm going to show you guys some clean tones with this Stratocaster. Now that you guys heard it clean, I'm going to go to the other extreme, dime out the amp, and make it that you guys can hear it super distorted. A really nice feature about a tube amp is I'm going to be able to roll back this volume knob, and you're going to hear that the amp is going to work with me. It's going to clean up very nicely, and then I'll be able to turn it right back to 10. It's going to get that nice crunchy distorted sound. So, let's have a listen. Like you just heard, it's super awesome, because at gigs, I don't need to do pedal tapping or anything. Could just set my amp to exactly how you see it now, and then the volume knob of my guitar is like a pedal for me. So if I have a clean part, I can clean it up by turning it back, and then to get that heavy distorted sound for a chorus or something, turn it right back up to 10. So now, let's go ahead and check out a Gibson SG. First, let's check out this SG with a clean sound.
All right, so we opened up the back of this amp. First thing you want to do before you do anything else is, A, if you don't know what you're doing inside of a tube amp, put the cover back on and take it to somebody who knows what they're doing. There's lethal voltages inside of these, and they will kill you dead. The second thing you want to do is you want to discharge the filter caps. These are the filter caps right here. So I have this handy dandy discharge. What it is it's a jumper cable with a 200 ohm resistor. It goes to ground. Give it a few seconds. Then you can measure the voltage here. 0.000 whatever, nothing. It won't hurt you. So you're fine. You can work on the amp now. Also, of course, make sure that it's unplugged. I guess that should go without saying. But okay, so some of the things about the amp. This is a Weber cabinet and a Weber chassis. They make really nice chassis. It's chrome-plated stainless steel. Should last a lifetime. So some of the things going from the power supply, which is over here, to this way, what we did that is different than a 5E3 Deluxe from the 50s is this. The power transformer is slightly different than what you would buy today normally. Back in the day, wall voltage was 110 volts. Today, it's 120 volts. So what that means is if you took the transformer that came in a 5E3 originally and plugged it into the wall voltage right now, it's going to put out more voltage than it did in the 50s. This has a couple of effects. One of them is it gives you a little more headroom, which may be okay, I guess. But the other thing is that it presents a higher voltage to the rectifier tube right here. I've had trouble in the past with modern rectifier tubes not being able to take that. So what we did with this, we bought a Hammond transformer that puts out the same voltage with 120 volts as the original transformers did with 110 volts. It also makes it a little closer to that sort of a sound that you'd have gotten from a 50s amp. That's number one thing we did that's a little bit different. The other thing that we did that's a little bit different is these are the tone caps, and we used Sprague orange drops. I like these because they're a little more hi-fi. I know the purists are going to say, oh, well, you should have used Mallory's or something like that. I don't like that. I use these. I like the way they sound. These are Sprague Atomlytic. These are the filter caps, really good filter caps. What else can I say about this while we're in here? This is the one modification we made to it. There's a switch right here that when it is switched this way, it adds negative feedback. And these amps originally did not have negative feedback. So what that does is it gives you a little more headroom. It makes it a little more pedal friendly. And if you want to do, I've used these amps for jazz gigs. They sound great because if you flip this switch, it gives you a little more headroom. It doesn't tend to break up so fast. We also put tube keepers on it. You don't need to do that, but it's a nice precaution. Speaker is a Jensen. Yeah, I know you're going to say that these Jensens aren't the same. Well, of course they're not. They're modern. I don't know where it's made. Some people say they're made in Italy. I don't really care where it's made. Sounds great. Because we were going for, as much as possible, the original 5E3 sound with just a few little upgrades to it. And I think we hit it on the head here. I built quite a few of these amps for people, and every one of them has sounded really good. The output transformer that we used is also a Hammond. They sound really good to me. The company I used to buy them from is out of business. Classic. You can't buy them anymore. So these are the next best thing, and Hammond makes a really good transformer. Really solid.
A big thing to take note of is, again, we mentioned that we bought and purchased this cabinet from Weber, but it's made out of pine. It resonates a lot, and that is part of the sound of a 5E3 and a Deluxe.
Yes, with what they call a floating baffle board, which means the baffle board where the speaker is mounted right here is actually held into the chassis with, into the cabinet with 4 screws. And so it vibrates freely. The whole cabinet vibrates freely because, like Sam said, it's made out of finger jointed pine. All in all, these are great sounding amps. They're extremely versatile. You can use them for so many different things. A lot of people have said this would be their desert island amp. I'd have to tend to agree with them.